Oh, you're good, man. I said
Yeah,
if you do this in 2 minutes, that's pretty impressive anyway. So you're good, man.
What do you got in those tanks? What is that? Fish or is that reptiles?
So I actually got I think it's 60 something gallon fish tank over here. But yeah, that's my son's lizard. He's got like a little leopard gecko or something.
Okay,
but,
cool.
I like the cichlids. I got like cichlids and a couple other cool fish over there, like freshwater, nothing crazy, but
cool, man. Cool.
Awesome.
Now where are you guys based out of?
So I'm in Florida, right outside of Orlando and Kissimmee, and David's in Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, word.
So
yes, we were both in Charlotte, and then he moved to Florida. I was still here when we started it. Like we literally started in February, and then he moved in June, but we just kept it going. And
nice.
We had fun with it. We have we've had all types of people on. We've had Jeff Monson and Russia. And
wait, I'm see. You guys recently just have who was it that you've had a bunch of people on, like, as of recent. I don't know. It's funny because you guys hit me up and I've just started seeing you guys all over the place, and then you hit me up. I was like, it's funny how that, you know what I mean?
So people are seeing us at least. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. Yeah, we've had.
Yeah, you probably saw Kurt, Jason, all the tough guys. We tried to get y'all on. So
yeah, I'm sure that's how it went through. Then, yeah.
We just
and
had
Cody Gibson.
Chris Levin just came on. Yeah,
that's right. Levin, about how he just made his judge debut, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who else did we have? We had. Do you remember Oleg Taktarov?
He's like
Oleg Taktarov, like old school UFC.
Oh,
he was in some movies. He was in
Yeah.
He was like a bad guy in Bad Boys 2.
I'm sure if I see his face, I'll know him.
Yeah, David was watching some movie last night, and he like sent me a picture.
He was on it, yeah. He's on some new movie on Netflix. I was like, that's crazy, but yeah, it was wild. He came up as like a villain, and he got like stabbed, and I'm like, holy shit, we just had him on the podcast. Like, that's crazy. He literally died, and I recognized who it was. I was like, literally, it's crazy, man.
I was watching what was that Predators movie, and he was in that too, the new one. I'm like, this dude's everywhere.
Yeah, good for them, man. Good for him.
But yeah, man, we're glad we could have you on.
So, David, you want to start this off?
I had a bill on you guys last week, dude. I got like crazy sinus issues, dude. My nose is a fucking mess, dude. So when I get sick, like I literally get like sinus infections. It actually happened on Tough, man. So like after my fight, before my fight, I got a sinus infection. After my fight, I broke my nose, but I already had a sinus infection. And it like crept into my lungs, dude. And I fucking got a lung infection. I had a sinus infection and a lung infection. I had to get a shot. I was on antibiotics. I almost didn't get cleared to fight. It was a bunch of crazy shit.
Oh shit.
I was gonna ask you about that too, because I saw something where you had like a bunch of like medicals done with like the saline. Like you had to go through quite a process when cutting weight, right? On Tough, is that right?
Yeah. So what was fucking bizarre? I think they actually messed up on the paperwork. So you go through medicals. Obviously, everybody's, they're not going to even bring you on the show if you ain't fucking clearing. They go through all the protocol they got to go through. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there was an error on paperwork. And so like literally days before my fight, they're like, we have an issue, blah, blah, blah. All right, no big deal. And obviously they have everything set up where they pick you up on a bus. They take you where you got to go. Everything's scheduled. But the only problem was I was going to miss that whole day of practice because I ended up having to get like everything redone, everything. So like you go through, you do a lot of stuff, and if there's any questions, they get that done too, like MRIs, CAT scan, like they do everything that has to be done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up having to get injected with that saline. It has like a very high sodium, content in and stuff. I don't honestly, it's just Tristan, the nutritionist, was like, dude, that's the last thing you want in your body before you're doing a weight cut. And it was gnarly because, I wasn't even sure if I was going to fight. You know what I'm saying? After all that, we were like, it came down to like literally the day before. And I was to find out if it was actually going to go through. And everybody was, everybody knew what was going on because they see me just get scooped up and taken out. And they're like, what the fuck's going on? And it makes you think like, shit, did they detect something that, could be something bigger, you know what I'm saying? And I've had cancer in the past, so I was kind of nervous, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, fuck, what the hell is going on. The doctors, anything with the doctors, man, freaks me the fuck out, dude. That's why, like, honestly, the fight part sometimes is easy, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And that was going to lead me to, I guess, I saw something too, like your relationship with Rob Font, and I guess when you like torn your meniscus and then COVID and you had like the layoff. Kind of describe, I guess, that layoff, that time, and your relationship with Rob Font, because I think I heard you say he kind of got you back into fighting and back into swinging things a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny. So I met Rob at like an affiliate gym in Beverly, which is like 30 miles away from Boston when we first started getting going. He was just moved from Florida, like literally just started everything in martial arts, you know, jiu-jitsu, everything, blah, blah. And I was doing some Muay Thai over there and some jiu-jitsu, and we linked up, you know what I mean? We saw each other for classes every time we're going, and we kicked it. We were fucking mad cool. And I started going, just started moving to Somerville, which is Boston, which was like the big gym. And at that time, man, that was like the cesspool of fucking killers, dude. Like everybody would drive from Maine, from like all over New England to go there for sparring. And we sparred like three times a week. You know what I'm saying? It was a different type of, you know, I think we may not have been as smart about our training. I think it's just because at that point, you know, MMA was pretty, you know, this is talking 13 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so me and Rob have always been tight, you know, and he's been there. He was over there at SIT for a long, long time. And when after my surgery and things that took place, like right during COVID, man, we were both training at Gentle Art Dojo over there. Like we had like 3 or 4 gyms that we always train at, that we bounce around. We go to the same strength and conditioning place. We've always been like, you know, we're always kind of linked with the same people, even if we move a little bit far away. And, you know, we get a little separated. We've been boys, you know, in this sport since the beginning we both started. And dude, man, you know, that whole during COVID, dude, it was rough. I was driving up, you know, up to New Hampshire to work to get extra money. And, you know, I fucking couldn't train up here. Everything in Somerville was like locked the fuck down, dude. Like completely locked down, like to the point where I couldn't even walk into a gym. You know,
damn.
You couldn't even walk in. Everything was closed, like completely closed. You know, the only place, there was like a very few places that could stay open because they did it right. Like, you know, I think that any place, well, Somerville is like a lockdown city from where we're at in Boston.
Yeah.
So like city to city, it was a little bit different. So it was kind of crazy. Like, it was just wild, man. Like you'd have to like go kind of do like secret training sessions and shit, like for real. That's
so good. Isn't that goofy?
It's the goofiest, silliest shit. I think about it now. It was
working out, that's, you know, something that boosts your immune
something
system.
Healthy. It's like,
so like go back to the place that we were training at, it had like, you know, big open windows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were training over there, and it was my coach Rafa, and he was, you know, I was doing jiu-jitsu over there with Rob and shit, and like I wasn't really paying for a membership. He was just letting me over there if I help a couple people here and there, and just we knew each other really well, and we, you know, he just let me train over there because, you know, I was a pro and whatnot. And fucking, you know, he was so nice, and he let me train there for nothing. And like, you know, we got booted out. Everybody got booted out because people, you know, walked by and saw them training. And he's like, dude, I got to take care of my people that, you know, my members first. And I'm like, dude, I get it. No problem. I appreciate everything. Like, thank you so much. But yeah, dude, after my surgery, because I had a surgery during COVID, because I was coming back after COVID, I had a fight set up. And like my first fight back, I get all the way to like 2-3 weeks to before the fight, and completely tore my meniscus to where it was like a bucket tear. And we were still going to do the fight. I was still like down for it. And then this guy that I trained with, Dr. Dave, trained with him years ago. He's a specialist in shoulders and knees. He actually he's like, listen, get an MRI. We got to check this out, blah, blah. After we knew it was a bucket tear, and he was like, listen, you can blow out your whole ACL, your MCL, like it's really, really risky. Like just take the surgery. If we do it right, and everything heals properly, you know, you'll be back within like 6 months, and your knee, you'll be so much better. And I'm so glad I did, because I didn't realize, like, my shit was a mess. You know what I'm saying? And he put anchors in my knee, and like so you usually put like 2 anchors and 2 to 3 anchors in someone's knee for that type of surgery for a bucket tear. He's like, he put like 6 anchors in my knee, places that like you don't usually do that. Yeah. But like if it heals properly, it'll be close to 100%. And it is. I haven't even thought about it since, to be honest. Like I did my rehab. It's honestly my strong knee now, to be honest. Like I don't even think about
That's good, man. So I wanted to ask this. So when did you get the call for the Ultimate Fighter show?
Dude, I got it really kind of last minute. Like the funny thing is I didn't even sign up for it. You know what I mean? I actually got a call for it during COVID a couple years before that, and I turned it down because my daughter was being born. And you know, I just knew I couldn't just, even if I just knew if I missed that, I wouldn't be in the right headspace to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, there's bigger things than fighting. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be able to, I don't know. I just feel weird about myself but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I turned it down because, you know, a couple of years later, I get the opportunity again. And once I, you know, got that call, I was like, fuck, I don't really want to do it, to be honest, but I'm down for it.
Did you care what team you were going on?
Well, once I got there, so I definitely wanted to be on Conor's team 110% because I have a little history with Michael Chandler, and I wouldn't have cared if I was on his team. But so I fought for Bellator when I made my pro debut, and he just rubbed me the wrong way. Like it could have been fucking weird. You know, I was a young kid. I went up to him, said some stuff. He kind of just brushed me off, kind of pushed me to the side, like literally just like, and like it kind of stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? It bothered me. And just the way that he treated me that night, and like I was like, what the fuck? And then he becomes the coach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and every time I see him, and everything he says is perfect, and it's, you know, and I'm like, I don't know if I fucking trust this dude or not, man. And the weird thing is, after being on the show, he's like, he's almost so fucking perfect. It's like the way he does everything is so by the, like, I don't know if it's fake or not. I can't tell. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Was that like 10 years ago too that you met?
You don't pass the smell test for me yet because I haven't been like, I don't know him. I know how he is in front of the cameras. I don't know him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, the Bellator, when you met him, was that like what, like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, or what? How long ago was that? Do you know?
That was a minute ago. I mean, I made my pro debut, so I had a lot of amateur fights. I made my pro debut for Bellator. Fucking shit. It was Bellator 98 or 110, something like that. So, you know, it was probably 13, 14.
So then that does mess with your head, though, because you haven't seen the guy really frequently, and then he's all perfect now, and then you have that 8 years ago, and you're like, now I don't know what. You're right. It messes with you.
Listen, man, I'm the type of person, you got to fucking, like, I don't care what anybody says about you. I don't care who says what. I take shit off of how I meet people, how I am, how they are to me. You know what I mean? How my interaction, my personal interaction, I don't give a flying fuck what anybody says about nothing, dude, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
for real, that's just how I am.
Perfect Team McGregor.
Stuck with me, man. That shit stuck with me. And then the thing was after the fight too. So after my fight with Hunter, he was like, yo, man, you know, I didn't give you a fucking chance in that fight. Like, I didn't think you had a fucking, like, a chance in the world to win that fight, and just saying this, that, and I'm like, bro, but like, at least, like, he's like, but you know, we got respect for you now, and everybody knows you can fight, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but the way he was saying it, I was just like, is he fucking trying to get a dig at me, or is he being sincere? Like, I don't know. It felt fucking weird to me, bro. Like, I don't know.
Now, how was Conor behind the scenes? How's he act away from the cameras?
Dude, he was awesome, man. To be honest, dude, like, he was fucking great. The funny thing is, dude, I think, like, in front of the cameras, especially now, like, he don't care about looking like the bad guy or playing sometimes. He really don't give a shit about what people think, I feel like, personally. Or he knows how to, like, work the camera for what's happening for, like, you know, the moment.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is, like, behind the scenes, the way he was and interacted with us, he actually gives a fuck, dude. He had no business texting me every other, you know, all the time, just hitting me up on Instagram after, like, sending me something, or I hit him up before training, ask him about, like, you know, now that this is done, what are we doing? You know, what should I be working on here? What do you suggest? Blah, blah. Dude, he would send me, like, you know, voice messages. It meant a lot, man, because he's, like, still coaching me after it too. You know what I mean? Still, you know, so dude, he was awesome, dude. And not only that, he showed up for every practice he said he was going to. Everybody obviously know he's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on. He didn't miss nothing. I don't care. I could give two shits if he doesn't fucking show up for weigh-ins, and I don't give a damn about that. We had our own nutritionist and our own team there. We had everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
So I know Chandler made that a big deal. I remember on the show.
Yeah.
They try to make it a big deal. It's funny because the show, things that bothered us, like things that bothered us, like where there's nothing, like things that bothered us, we can't fucking listen to music. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't fucking, you know, get news. I'm slipping notes to the video guys to see what's happening to the Celtics going into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like I'm fucking trying to like write notes to the fucking guys to figure out what's going on in sports and shit. You know?
I mean, did Tatum score tonight? Slide into him.
Exactly. And
Chandler's boys apparently listen to Jelly Roll while they cut weight. That's what Jason Knight was telling us. So.
Jason Knight, I'm so pumped that Jason Knight linked up with Jelly Roll, bro, because this is the thing that drives me nuts, man. There's so many interactions on that show that we had, fighter to fighter, that I think the fans would have absolutely loved. Like people that you're fighting, both teams in the hot tub sitting there, all like in the process of kind of cutting weight days before fights, and we're sitting there shooting the shit about our backgrounds, what happened, like how, you know, what's gone on in your life, like what got you guys there, like to like who do you like listen to for country music, you know what I mean? Just like cool shit that I think would have been fucking huge on the show, man. I don't know if they couldn't show so much because they didn't have enough time, because you know the contract's on ESPN instead of ESPN Plus, so they probably, if they had like, you know, because if you look at every episode, it's just like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's quick.
What sucks though, let me say this about the ESPN Plus thing, because I remember when it first started, like I remember I called David about it. I'm like, how do you watch a show? Because I don't use cable. So apparently you had to have the like cable and ESPN to even watch a show. So I would always see it like 24 hours later. Because it would have to wait to go on the ESPN Plus. But I'm so used to watching all the events on ESPN Plus, I didn't think you needed to have cable for it. So I don't know. I wish they would have put it all on ESPN Plus live, but I don't know if they could have done that or not.
See, I almost wish they did it like that on ESPN Plus, because like all the behind the scenes shit, like us in the fucking sauna, like talking shit and blah blah, and like, dude, like there's some funny, like just funny exchanges, just cool. Like I want it for myself now at this point. Like I don't even care, man. I know all the boys because we're in group chats and shit. Like both of our teams. And we have our own as one, you know, our team, but like we all like, damn, bro, there's so much shit that I'd love to fucking, you know, just look back at and fucking laugh at, and just, you know, we had a good time on the show, man. That's what's so cool about it. Was like, everybody was professional. Everybody there deserves to be there. Everybody's, you know, exceptionally skilled. It was, you know, everybody was in the same frame of mind. You know what I mean? Everybody, no bullshit. You know, it was, we wake up, we eat, we sleep, we train. Everybody had the same goals. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it wasn't like a chaotic fucking like shit you see in the past every now and then, like with like dudes, because we walk in there and there's fucking booze everywhere, and there's fucking
Chris Lavin out in the yard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, water hose.
But there was some fun times, like, so after my fight, like me, because so like that's what they did, like shit that they didn't show, like because Carlos so my boy Carlos is a fucking dude's a bartender. Dude can make nasty, ridiculous drinks. So like after my fight, dude, we had one night and just went wild, dude. It's the point where I was like trying to steal a cameraman's camera, running around filming people. Like we had a fucking night. And dude, Lee can party, man. But I fucking drank his ass under the table that night, dude. And he fucking because he got an injury, like he cut his knee pretty bad that night, you know. And because the way that it shows that like we fight on separate nights, but realistically the way that it's done is like you fight. I think they do 4 fights, you know, then it's like a week and then they fight, you know what I mean? So it's just, they break down every fight for each episode. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that. No.
I thought it was like a couple fights at a time, but I didn't know it was like 4.
Yeah, so I'm sure I can talk about this now, right? It's done. I ain't gonna get in trouble for this shit, right?
You got paid, right? Or you got it's over, like
yeah. I guess the show's over, yeah. So
the way that it works is like there's like, so the first I think it's the way that we got picked, right? So the way that we got picked was the order that you fight, and the first 4 fights are done in one night, and then there's a break, and then the next 4. So it's
gotcha.
They show it as it's individually, but really it's, you know, it's 4 fights, then a break, then 4 more fights. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So let me ask you this then. So the night that like Conor got pissed off with Chandler, was that like the last fight, or was that like if you can remember? I know it's been months ago, but like that would have been crazy if it was like he got pissed and had to go back there again and like be in your corner and to coach, well, not in your corner, but to coach you.
So there was another. So there was a lot that went on that like is just you can't even fucking you see nothing, So my buddy was in the building for my fight. It turned into chaos after my knockout. Things got heated. Dudes almost got into fights. He got dragged out. Conor went fucking bananas. It all got fucking. But the whole team, both teams went bananas though. It turned into fucking almost chaos. Everything, obviously, nobody fought or nothing crazy, but it was like, I'm just shocked that they didn't show anything. And I'm kind of a little nervous about saying that. I don't want to, put anybody on blast or nothing. So I'm like, I don't even know.
Well, we know something happened because Dana White was like, he was real vague, but he's like, it wasn't good. But that's all we really know.
Yeah, man. I mean, it wasn't bad either, though. It's not like anybody.
It wasn't like a bar brawl. I mean, I guess.
Could have been. It could have got ugly. I'm not gonna lie. It could have got real ugly, But and that's another thing about it being on ESPN. I think that like they try to keep it as clean as they could, But there's fucking got 16 fucking fighters. Everybody's fighting for the same thing. Conor was just, we lost on every fucking fight up until that point. It was emotional. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's chaotic, dude.
And dude, the way you fought Hunter, I mean, first fight, obviously he was working his grappling. I mean, you had good defense first round. He was just all over you, but you stayed calm. It was a bloodbath. And I even thought, I was like, he gets to the second round, like, and finds his range, keeps it standing, just like you and your coaches said. I was like, I mean, that was a hell of a fight anyway. So I'm sure the testosterone was high after that. Just everybody just hype after that. You freaking claw this man. So it's like.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing about that fight early on, so like even before, so obviously John Kavanaugh has some background with Hunter because Brad Katona fought him in the UFC, right?
Right.
So we knew, like, listen, he's a really good wrestler. He's going to try to push pressure for wrestling. So he's like, listen, he's like, Rico, you're a different type of like style than a lot of these guys have faced. It's like, just make it fucking nasty, dude. Like in those positions where like you want to wrestle and you want to out wrestle and back and forth, he's like, yeah, wrestle to get to your feet, but also like think about like doing damage, like trying to elbow off the back, like things that people wouldn't, you know what I mean? He's like, Rico, make it nasty. And he kept saying it to me. I was like, all right, I understand. I was like, say no more. I get that. I can make it a fucking ugly fight when those positions to make it last later on to get to where I need to be, because then I can start stuffing takedowns in the open. You start making panic wrestle a little bit. Not that he did that, but that's usually like the game plan for somebody that's going to push that pressure and really try to push you and go for those takedowns. If you can start stuffing them, putting hands on them, like timing those takedowns to where like you're forcing them to do it because they're so uncomfortable. Oh man, that makes it so fucking easy, dude. It's like, but right off the rip, when he got me up the cage, I kind of hit him with those elbows, and after like the third elbow, he went a little limp. So I was like, holy fuck, I'm gonna finish this fight right now. Like I got so excited, but I felt like my leg sliding in. So I'm like, in my brain, it's like a second of thinking. I'm like, all right, I'm either gonna get taken down because he's gonna fucking hit this double because I'm losing position unless I start to defend it, or I keep ripping these elbows and fucking knock him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I thought I was gonna knock him out with the elbows, but I knew I was losing position if I don't knock him out. You know what I mean? But I kind of just gave it up because I was like, dude, they were landing hard. I mean, and I felt them go limp a little bit, and I was just like, all right, I gotta go for it. Because I'll weather the storm for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, dude, he was tough on top, but realistically, a lot of the strikes that he was throwing weren't landing super hard on me at all on the bottom. He hit me with a good, clean uppercut right before the takedown that like shattered my nose, like completely shattered my nose. So that was the only like big blow that really he landed. The one, I know it looks probably ugly because you're defending, you get an elbow, whatever, he's trying to ground and pound. But a lot of that was really deflected. The only really good, clean shot that like did anything was that uppercut right before he went for that takedown. And I was like, damn, man. I was like, I really thought I was gonna fucking put him out with the elbows and have the fight over in a fucking minute.
Because I remember them telling you like, don't blow, because like your nose.
Yeah.
You were just...
So that's another thing when it edited. So like the way that it edited on the show. So I got up and I actually so I was on bottom. I got up and I was like, I fucking looked over and I screamed and like one of those like just like, oh, like that's all you like just fucking kind of, you know. And they don't show that part. And then I'm walking and fucking I blow my nose and the guy runs over and he's like, don't do it, like runs to me. And I'm fucking complete through a huge snot rocket. So I'm thinking I was like, oh my God, I just blew this fight, bro. I broke my orbital and I just blew my nose. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was my nose, but then once I blew the chunk out, I was like, fuck, did I break my orbital and not know it? And they're going to call the fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, holy fuck, they're going to call this fight. I'm like, no fucking way. They can't call this fight. So like once the doctor came over, I was like, oh, everything's fine, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, I'm so nervous, dude. Cause like, I almost like flexed out in between rounds. I was so hyped up, man, because like, I don't know, dude. I want to be there so fucking bad, dude. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get that win, man. I don't think people understand. There's some different type of people. Like I fucking will do everything it fucking takes to get that win. If I am not fucking dead or out, you are. And you know, there's potential for a lot of problems, and you know what I'm saying. That's just how I fucking do it, you know. And man, it just gets me fired up, bro, because I love this fucking sport, man. I truly love doing it, you know. And I'm looking forward to the next thing, really, you know.
Yeah, sure. Man, I think that's the thing. Go ahead, Andrew.
So is there any anything coming soon, any announcement or anything?
Well, I mean, nothing yet. I mean, everybody's been kind of put on hold for the most part off that show, unless you were in the finals. From what I've heard, everybody, you know, Landon got a short notice fight, which he did pretty well. I think 4 weeks notice against a guy that has probably more fucking UFC fights than he does pro fights. And he looked pretty good, you know, and it just showcases that, like, you know, everybody on that show is capable of beating very good guys in the UFC, like 100%. It's all about thing in that moment, you're right, like controlling that moment. But for me, I mean, realistically, so right before I was going to go to the Ultimate Fighter, I was lined up to do a title fight with Charmalamos Gregorio. I'm butchering his name. It is what it is. Anyway, he got a fight for the Contender Series not too long ago. He just won his Contender Series fight in the first round via knockout, and fucking it would be beautiful for me to fucking make my UFC debut against him.
Yeah, for sure.
Why not? We were both supposed to fight for a title over here. You know what I mean? He just got signed. I think it'd be a fucking absolute awesome highlight reel fucking fight. I'd love to see it happen, you know, and in a perfect world, you know, that goes down before the end of the year.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, hopefully soon you have an announcement. That'd be cool. What were you saying, David?
Yeah. Well, now I was just thinking too, like, I mean, I don't know I don't know that process. I know it's a lot bigger than the fans, even the fighters, like the way they match make, because I know Jason was pissed about the Landon short notice contract, him not getting anything after his fight with Kurt. But like for you, watching that like Cody Gibson fight, for me personally, I feel like the kicks, the punch, you were finding your range, and I was like, if he keeps the standing, this is a KO in the first round. So I know Dana had to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to feel the pressure of that slip, and I know what he said about, oh man, it was a mistake. But it's like in his head, he has to know like what you were building to before that mistake. You know?
Yeah, man, it's so wild to watch that replay. And it's like, that's like my bread and butter is like my footwork, my range, my movement. Like that's my bread and butter. I've never slipped like that in my life. And I honestly, and it's funny because afterwards, Conor's like, what, you wear those, was it the shin guards that you wear? I'm like, no, it wasn't that. I straight up fucking try to roll over into fucking southpaw, and on my front foot, either my back foot slipped, so my front foot couldn't catch up. So I literally like fell on my face, dude. Like it was so there's like logos in the cage, and the texture of the spots are actually like different, especially if they have a tiny bit of water. Believe it or not, They really are like a little bit different. And I think I just turned over and just like slipped out a little bit, and that little bit, because I was coming forward hard, you know what I mean? I fucking lost balance, man. It is what it is. And the worst thing was, it's like before that fight, right? Like the two things, like the two no-nos no matter what, like do not let him take your back. Don't get on fuck. Don't let him get mount you. Dude, I literally fell as I fell forward. I fell forward so hard, it was like slow motion. I'm like, no, like in my brain, it was just like, oh man. And Cody's a fuck, put it this way. Anybody at our level that early on in a fight, if we get your back and you got a body lock, it's a fucking problem, dude. You know what I mean? You got 4 minutes to fucking get out of a body lock with a guy that's dry. You guys are both dry. And Cody's long. He was grapevining my other leg. You know what I mean? Like he was in a body lock and also grapevining like my cat. You know what I mean? So like it's a position that just a fucking nightmare to deal with, man. But it is what it is. You got to have a short memory, when it comes to the things that like are going to try to bother you. You got to learn from it. You got to, use that to learn. I've never actually lost the same way twice. I always fucking make sure I learn from my mistakes and move on. You got to fucking move on, because you can dwell on that shit for too much and it can burn you, dude. You know what I mean? It can chew you.
Sure. For sure. David, you got anything else? Yeah.
No, man. I appreciate your time, man. Super cool, dude. Thanks for making the time, and hope to have you on again. We'll definitely have you on again. Hopefully, we'll get ready for a fight, actually.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to ask this though. How was the Lamborghini you're driving around in?
So that was a fucking blast, because the funniest part about that was, it was right after training. I just like, yo, let me take it for a whip, thinking whatever. And I've driven cars like that, not like that car, but I've driven like, supercars before here and there. And he didn't even know if I had a fucking license, dude. I get in the car, he's like, wait, he's like, do you have a license? You know how to drive? Dude, it was so funny. So I get into like the parking lot, and like, it's like a huge, pretty much like a drag strip, but it's tight. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm on it. He's like, yeah, go catch your buzz, dude. You're fucking, I drowned you. Dude, he didn't think I was going to floor it, bro. He's sitting there like yo, he really got it. Because I mean, dude, I don't know if you've ever been on a passenger with being a passenger when somebody fucking, that you don't know that well is getting on a fucking vehicle, dude. It's definitely he should, but it was a blast and it was fun, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
That's cool, man. Do you have any plans to going out to Ireland to get trained at SBG?
Yeah, I do actually. It's funny that you said that. So I'm trying to renew my passport now, and I've been talking to Lee Hammond, and so he wants he's gonna be there. So that's where he's from. He's from Ireland. He's Conor's guy.
Okay.
He's a dog, yeah.
So dude, he's the man. Me and him just like right off the rip, we're like, just for whatever reason, same type of mindset, same type of like personality, like, work hard, play. Like, I don't know, we try to keep it light. Like I just love, that's why I love that team, was like, obviously it's a super, it's a tough sport. You got to be mentally prepped and fucking focused all the time, but you also can't be like a robot where everything's so fucking like almost overdoing everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make light and have fun of it. If you ain't having fun, you ain't going to be loose. You ain't going to be performing well. So like, that's why I don't know. I just linked up with him, man. Early on, he had a great mindset, dude, especially for a young kid, dude, super mature, super fucking just like dedicated to a game. You know what I'm saying? And we just kicked it off, and I actually hit him up the other day. I was like, let me know when's a good time to come out, because we were talking back and forth. He said, come down, and I'd love to go train with him and John Kavanaugh and stuff, and their wrestling coach too. So they have like 3 or 4 gyms like in and around Dublin. So they got SBG, they got their wrestling coaches, Sergey's gym, who's like he has like a crazy huge wrestling program down there. He's a guy I worked with a lot on the show before my fight, obviously prepping for Hunter. So I got the opportunity to like train with him, and since like he's a smaller wrestler too, so he's like my size, you know what I mean? So it was fucking fantastic, and he's got obviously incredible knowledge. So like we worked on basic things that actually worked in the fight, like big time, like pumping off the single, certain little details that pushing out the hip, like certain little details that actually got me a couple stuffs, and he was like, afterwards, we like hug you, like, yeah, worry, like we, you know what I mean, like, you know, to pull that type of stuff in when a couple of days is tough, man. Like, realistically, although a lot of these fighters, like, you're not going to really change too much about them. You just got to keep their mind really sharp and keep them in shape, keep them prepped. You ain't going to change somebody completely in a week or two. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you take the details you can that you know are going to, you know, can work, hire, you know, and man, fucking, that's why I can't wait to go down there. I'm going to go down there hopefully at the end of October if I don't hear anything soon. My buddy Charles Rose is going to fight at CES. So I'm probably going to wait for him to fight and then probably dip out right after that and go train with the boys up in Ireland, man. Do the damn thing and hopefully, you know, get some news right after that and, you know, get to it.
Cool, man. And do you know Sirion Clark by any chance? He fights his name's Sirion Clark. He fights in Bellator.
Sirion Clark.
He was on our podcast about a month ago, David.
Yeah. But he's trained with Conor and them up there. He's a dog too.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
What weight class is he at?
Featherweight,
I believe, 130, 135 or 145, one of those. It's one of those. But he's like 9-0 in Bellator right now or something like that.
Hell yeah, man. I just want to get good work in, bro. You know what I mean? I want to get over there. And like the biggest thing is I got a family. You can see my girl, you know. So it's like that's another reason why I think the Ultimate Fighter was big for me is like I had no distractions, man. I wake up, I would sleep in late on purpose. I would fucking eat. I go to the gym. I come back. I sit in the hot tub. I go to the sauna. I go back to the gym. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing else in my mind. I'm not talking like the physical. It's the mental of like, oh, I got to get my kid to soccer practice. I got to do this. We got to go this way. It's like, it's a lot. You know what I mean? You're just like, it's hard to be completely dialed in when you're like, that's why a lot of times I like fighting away from home, like getting away. You know what I mean? Like the fight week when you just clear your mind and be totally focused on what you're doing. You know, I'm going to put in the work in the gym, but it's different when it's at home and like, cause it's just like, it's just the chaos of life, you know, it's right there, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But like I said, man, we appreciate you coming on though. And let Conor know check out the Pound for Pound boys.
Hell yeah. He'll check him out. He'll check it out.
Hey, I'm repping this is his restaurant right here. I figured I'd rep his restaurant hat.
Yeah, so he's got the Forge fucking
the Black Forge Inn. Yeah.
No, but he's got the beer that he just did. The
stout, yeah, the stout.
Yeah. So he's got stout. He's got that Forge stout. He's also got does like the title brand or Tittle, whatever. It's like
the title sport. I seen the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh yeah, that was all.
I was like, this dude's got all his merchandise. I thought it was funny.
Well, Cody Gibson was getting pissed at Conor, and he was wearing his title stuff. I just started laughing. I was like, this man's arguing with Conor while wearing his brand.
Yo, it's mad funny because we raided that house after, because they would put out like they sponsored it. So like, like Conor would come in and sponsor it. So the first when we first showed up at the house, there's different boozes all over the place. It's tequilas, this, that, whatever. There's like all different types of merch and shit. And then like after like the first couple days, everything's wiped out. Nothing but Proper 12 whiskey. Nothing but fucking stout. It's like he completely sponsored the whole thing. So like it was kind of funny because like at the end, we're fucking in there. We're in there just pretty much not even knowing if we're getting paid or not and what's going on. So they leave like a bunch of towels, like a bunch of like patches, a bunch of like, pain cream and all that. Dude, we all fucking just raid the whole entire fucking place trying to put it in our bucket. It's funny because like all those dudes that are talking shit on the other team have that shit at their house and they're using that shit every day.
That's cool, man. But anyways, we appreciate it, Rico. This is fun, man.
I appreciate you guys. I gotta take care of this one, but
all right, you're good, man. All right, have a good night. All right,
take care, man.